Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before I start this video off, I just want to apologize for my colleague Owen for his late video and more importantly his awful food tier ratings. We're very sorry about that. We're going to talk to him about it and make sure we get it all fixed up, But on the other hand, today's video, today actually, I was going through like the news on my computer and I saw an interesting article, and it was that Disney has enough land to create 7 new parks at their with the Florida land that they have. And I didn't really read into the article much because I had to go to class, but I just want to give my opinion about that, and I just want to show you, or like tell you guys about an idea that I have had for a new park for Disney, and they can use my idea if they want, if I get credit though. Wait for hiring Disney. I'm ready. Now, in this park, I think that Disney wants to sell it to people. So what I've been thinking, or what I thought about was, when you get older, as time goes on, some rides they just don't like fit the expectation, or just like they get old, So then Disney replaces the rides with something new, or something that like they refurbish them, or something like that. So with my idea, maybe someone has also come up with this idea, but I haven't really seen anything about it. But with the idea that I have had was, what if they create a park that's like the history of Disney, kind of, So like, let's say for some reason they get rid of Space Mountain at the Walt Disney Park. They have this like grand technology, a state of the art, and it's a whole new experience, like years down the line, or in a year, whatever, it's like brand new, and it just makes you think you're flying in a spaceship for real, and you feel like you're going fast, everything. Now, with my idea, they would take Space Mountain and like kind of disassemble it and then put it into the new park. And by doing that, the people that have grown up riding Space Mountain, and let's say they didn't get to, or like they were kids when they rode it, and then they have kids of their own, they would be able to bring their kids to the park to then have them ride the ride, then have them experience what they experienced as a kid. And now, how like with theming work and stuff, I think it would be like a park of yesterday, a park through time, maybe, whatever works. Now, my initial idea of it was that you would have the classic Main Street, you know, walk you walk under the bridge, and then boom, Main Street right in front of you. But what's different about it is that there is still a castle there, but it's not like a big massive castle, because that's still going to be at the other park. It's still going to be at Magic Kingdom or Disneyland, or any of the other, like Tokyo or Shanghai, or the Euro Disney. But what I was thinking was like, it could be like an older park, an older castle that they had planned, or it could it could be what Sleeping Beauty's castle from Disneyland brought to the or the Disneyland castle, in case you don't know. The Disneyland castle brought to Florida for so that Florida people could see it. You know, some people that go to Disney World, they can't go to California to see it. So then that could also bring people in, but mainly you want people to bring in for the nostalgia and for them to show their kids. And so you got Main Street Castle, but then I I think that it could be split up in a bunch of ways. It could be split up like through the eras, like when things were built. Like that's like 1970s, the 1980s, 1990s, 2000, 2010, it could be like that, or like earlier, after, could be anything. Or could be split up by park. So you got because, it's just all one park, and people want things from the other parks that may have gone, or, So it could be like, since it would be at Disney World, it could be like things from Animal Kingdom, but it has to be the rides, because, you can't really bring animals there. They could, but I don't really think that would really work out. It could be like Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood, and Epcot. Now, with the Epcot and Animal Kingdom, I don't really know how, like, you could, like, because, they're both, like, different. Animal Kingdom, animals, they still have rides and everything. They're great rides. But I don't really know how like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a little bit hard to contribute, like, put them into the park. Epcot could be hard to put those ones into. But, Disney, if they do like this idea, they could definitely find a way to do it. But mainly I was making this for, like, or like, the attractions and stuff. Now we're like, sorry, not just the attractions, but the like lands that come along with it. Because me personally, I remember as a kid going to Hollywood when I was like really really young. It was like it was my first time going to Disney, and we went to Hollywood Studios with me and my brother. He was younger than me at the time, and I just remember going to the Mos Eisley's, the Star Tours, and we just rode the ride over and over and over and over and over again. So, to me, I really like that ride. It may not be as technologically advanced as the other rides that they have now, but it's still a very good ride. And to me, it's probably higher on my list than everyone else's list. And that's why this park would be such a good idea. Because me personally, as an adult, when I have my kids, I would hope that the ride would still be there so I can go and take them to that ride. And then I would take them to the other rides I enjoy. Like the People Mover. Great ride. Gonna go on it one day. Now, with this idea, they could, target the adults, but with nostalgia. And I'm talking like those old commercials where, like, the kids are laying in the bed and then they're talking about Disney World or Disneyland, and then all of a sudden your mom comes in and was like, "Did you guys find out?" Or I can't really remember the exact commercial, but she talks to them, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're at Disney. Or the other commercials where they're like those old commercials that, like, when you see them, you're like, man, that's nostalgic, man. I just want to go there. So they could advertise like that, but in the modern day, they could have like those commercials, but then put them on YouTube videos or put them on TikTok. You could advertise them through the TV too, I'm just saying like the modern day, you like because you can advertise through TikTok and YouTube and all that, and Twitch, and then I don't know, but then the people will see it and they'll be like, oh man, I remember that. That was such a good ride. That was such a good this. And if they, like maybe they haven't thought about Disney in a while. Like, oh man, I remember going to that park. I remember going on that ride. Well, let me check out the park. Let me see what they have in there. And then Disney could like have like a little website on like what attractions are in the park. And then like maybe for like events they could have like old performances or like different things that they used to do in the park that they don't do now. And another thing that I fondly remember this from my first time going, we went to the Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Now I know you're thinking, Simon, that's really weird. Why would you think of that? And when I have a notebook full of like things that like it's like written. I have a notebook full of ideas, and when I was thinking about this park, I was like, man, I remember going to a theme park and having there be massive grass, extremely tall grass. I remember there being an ant spitting out water. I remember all these things, And then I did my research and I saw that it was the Honey. At first I thought it was A Bug's Life, but because the grass, the ants, and everything. Because you're small. I thought it was A Bug's Life, but when I did my research, I was like, oh, it wasn't A Bug's Life. It was Honey I Shrunk the Kids, and that experience to me, I remember that being a child and just like being in the middle of, it's you can't replicate that, and the time and effort they put into like making the land like that was insane, And me as a kid, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And so like let's say they do make this park and then they put the Honey I Shrunk the Kids in. I'm buying a ticket instantly, taking my son, daughter, and I'm going. And I wanna like show them what I had as a kid and what I did and what I experienced. And then, when you're down there, if you're there for the nostalgia, you'll be like, oh man, I wonder what they got now. Or if you don't keep up with Disney or you don't go to the parks regularly, you could be like, oh, I wonder what they have now. I'm spending all this money to be down here, and I don't know when the next time I'll be down here. So I might as well go to the park too. And they could offer deals, because everyone's already seen, or mostly, the adults, they've already seen everything in the park, and they're mainly doing it for their kids or to just reminisce of the good old days and the days when they were a child. So Disney could like have like non like discounted tickets kind of. So like let's say you're going to Magic Kingdom one day, you buy a full price ticket for that, but then the park of yesterday, that park will have a discounted ticket because or just it would be something like that. But obviously Disney doesn't have to do that. I'm sure multiple people would just go and buy the ticket for that too. And like let's say you just want to go for that, then you just pay the ticket price, Like, and I think that this idea could work, but you don't always know. And with that big of a, because you're gonna have to build everything, you're gonna have to like find the blueprints again if you want to bring back stuff that isn't already in the park. And with all that, it's gonna take a lot of money and a lot of time, a lot of resources, which Disney does have, but if they want to take the risk on a park that everyone's or mostly everyone has already seen, that's a completely different thing. And it could be too big of a risk, which is understandable, but I was just thought it was a cool idea to like have a park of your memories. And obviously, I don't think Disney would get rid of like the classics in the park, like Space Mountain, as I mentioned, or the Jungle Cruise, the Haunted Mansion, and definitely not the People Mover. They're never getting rid of that. Everyone rides that all the time. Um, and just other classics like that. And it's an interesting concept to me because I just think it would be really cool, like I said. But that's really all I have in today's video. And like I said before, Bailey and we will be talking to Owen about his actions about not releasing the video on Friday and his awful food tier list. I'm sorry I had to go through that. Must have been hard for you guys. If you guys have any ideas for what I should do next, doesn't have to be Disney related. I just really like Disney. So I really like it. I find it interesting. So I like to talk about it. But if you guys want me to talk about something else, just put it in the comments and I will. And that's really all. So like I said before in the last video that I did, goodbye, good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you. I wish you the best.